Have you ever watched someone crumble in slow motion, one headline, one shaky selfie, one desperate late-night post at a time, and wonder why nobody close to them is slamming the brakes? That's the uncomfortable show the world is binging right now, and the star is Justin Bieber. Not long ago he was the kid who sold out stadiums before he could legally drive. Today he's a man whose Instagram feed looks like a loose collection of distress signals. The captions swing from spiritual surrender to raw frustration. The photos? Gritty bathroom mirrors, vacant stares, cryptic graphics that feel more like warnings than art. Now the whispers are boiling over. Hailey Bieber, Justin's wife and longtime lifeline, may be gathering paperwork for a conservatorship. Yeah, that word. The one forever tied to Britney Spears' lost decade and Wendy Williams' frightening silence. A legal cage that swallows autonomy and spits out strict guardianship. This isn't fan gossip. Lawyers are quoted. Experts are analyzing statutes. Outlets aren't asking whether a filing is possible. They're mapping out how it would play out, down to which judge might oversee the hearing. So how did we sprint from marriage goals to legal takeover talk? How did a pop idol with more number ones than birthdays reach a point where someone else might decide when he wakes, what he spends, and if he parents? Tonight we trace every breadcrumb, from paparazzi flashbulbs to boardroom power plays, because if you look close enough, the pattern isn't new. And if nobody steps in the right way, Justin may wake up one morning and realize the life he built now belongs to somebody else. Grab a coffee, turn the screen brightness down, and lean in. This rabbit hole runs deeper than anyone expected. It started like any celebrity slump. A cancelled show here, a grumpy face in a tabloid there. Fans shrugged, tour fatigue, personal stuff, he'll be fine. Then the tone shifted. A paparazzi caught Justin outside an LA cafe at 8 a.m. He was wearing clothes that looked slept in, mumbling to a barista who looked genuinely concerned. That same afternoon, TMZ posted a video of him pacing a studio parking lot, phone to ear, tears clearly wiped on his sleeve. Within 48 hours he'd dumped a string of nearly indecipherable Instagram stories, Bible verses colliding with cryptic jabs about fake loyalty and transactional friendships. What tipped the scales wasn't quantity, it was frequency. No rebound period, no management cleanup, no reassuring livestream. Just a constant drumbeat of "oh, is he okay?" That never stopped long enough for anyone to say yes. By week 3, worry mutated into alarm. Comment sections filled with mental health hotlines. Reddit threads cataloged every erratic post like pieces in a courtroom exhibit. And every time Justin reappeared in public, he looked paler, quieter, further from the spotlight that used to feed him. Some swore it was a bad album cycle. Others blamed spiritual burnout. But a smaller, louder faction began dropping a heavier word, breakdown, and once that label stuck, every future photo looked like proof. Mention conservatorship to any Californian lawyer and watch their shoulders tense. Post #FreeBritney, Los Angeles courts demand mountains of documentation before stripping a person's rights. To succeed, Hailey, or Justin's mom, or any petitioner, must tick 3 brutal boxes. Incapacity, demonstrate he can't understand or manage basic life tasks. Risk, prove his decisions actively endanger himself, his finances, or his child. No less restrictive option, show that therapy, voluntary power of attorney, or limited guardianship won't cut it. That's a tall order, unless someone supplies daily evidence that the subject is spiraling. And right now, Justin is practically handing that evidence over with a bow. Camera flashes catch him stumbling on curbs. Fans DM photos of him nodding off mid-meal. He screenshots Google searches for ketamine emotional regulation and uploads them himself. Each post nudges a skeptical court closer to agreement. Maybe he really can't run his life. If Hailey applies, judges will study every digital breadcrumb, timestamps, geotags, comment ratios, turning his own phone into Exhibit A. And unless Justin's team counters with proof of treatment plans and medical compliance, the legal tide may be impossible to reverse. Skeptics argue the footage looks worse out of context. Maybe that dimly lit bathroom selfie was part of an avant-garde art drop. Maybe those teary eyes on stage reflected fluorescent glare, not emotional collapse. They insist he needs rest, not legal shackles. Fair. But patterns tell stories context can't erase. Pattern 1, isolation. Close friends who once filled his comments with inside jokes haven't liked a post in months. Mainstream collaborators quietly distance themselves, citing schedule conflicts, while insiders whisper about unpredictability. Pattern 2, inconsistency. One day Justin tweets gratitude prayers, promising new music, and the next he deletes them, replacing optimism with all caps frustrations about betrayal. Pattern 3, neglect. Paparazzi shots reveal mismatched shoes, unkempt facial hair, stain-speckled tees, tiny signals he no longer registers how he presents to the world, or no longer cares. Individually, quirks. Together, warning sirens. Enough to trigger guardianship evaluations if the wrong person compiles them in a neat legal packet. For years, Hailey Bieber served as Justin's unofficial crisis manager. She coached interviewers to avoid hot topics. She smoothed fan encounters when he was curt or absent. She deflected blame whenever he flubbed lyrics or skipped red carpets. Internet critics called her controlling. Supporters hailed her devotion. Both camps missed the exhausting math. Hailey was effectively running a two-person emotional economy on one person's energy. When their daughter arrived, that economy crashed. Night feeds replaced midnight pep talks. Toddler tantrums replaced tour tantrums. Hailey's daily bandwidth shrank, and Justin's needs ballooned. Friends say she pushed him toward therapy, nutritionists, even silent retreats. Sometimes it stuck, for a week. Then a trigger popped up, a disparaging tweet, a bad tabloid cover, a lawsuit threat. The cycle reset, and Hailey's shoulder bore the weight again. She's human, shoulders bruise. And lately, observers note subtle shifts. She no longer likes every one of Justin's posts, no longer leaps to clarify his rants in Q&As. Instead of defensive Instagram stories, we get strategic silence, a louder message than any typed paragraph. I'm tired. With exhaustion comes a choice, dig deeper or step back. Rumor watchdogs claim Hailey may be eyeing the second option, not out of malice, but survival. Crypto sleuths spotted paperwork transfers hinting she's setting up additional trusts, one for the baby, one shielded from marital assets. Lifestyle magazines note she's quietly hired new security separate from Justin's rotation. Business journalists tracked her $1 billion sale of Rhodes skincare intellectual property and framed it as financial independence secured. Individually, coincidences. Together, a chessboard. And just as these puzzle pieces surfaced, so did how-to articles on conservatorship, complete with pull quotes from attorneys explaining California Probate Code Section 1801. The framing felt engineered, as if someone wanted the public, and Hailey, to see guardianship not as nuclear but necessary. Convenient timing or careful seeding? Either way, the suggestion lodged. Maybe the only way to protect Hailey and the baby is to legally sideline Justin. A heartbreaking, controversial possibility now floating through mainstream discourse like the inevitable next chapter. Remember Britney's 2007 gas station breakdown? Paparazzi didn't just get lucky, insiders sold tips. Their lenses sculpted a narrative of erratic chaos until public sympathy flipped into judicial action. With Justin, similarities multiply. Paparazzi find him at deserted strip malls at dawn. They arrive at cafes minutes after he orders. They focus shots to emphasize trembles, vacant stares, cigarette ash near baby strollers. Fans map these sightings and discover an uncanny proximity to employees recently fired from Bieber-related ventures. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe someone with grudges, or ambitions, sends pin drops to photo agencies that pay top dollar for unbalanced Justin exclusives. Each unflattering candid becomes another brick in a wall labeled he's unfit. Courts love walls built from objective media coverage. By the time lawyers waltz in with glossy photo boards and time-stamped headlines, public opinion is pre-primed. We saw him looking lost. Maybe guardianship is best. Enter Lou Taylor, the business manager many fans hold responsible for shepherding Britney into her legal nightmare. Taylor's specialty? Fiscal restructuring for high-earning, high-stress clients. Translation: step in when stars wobble, consolidate their assets, promise stability. When word leaked that Justin briefly enlisted Lou's services, #BieberArmy forums melted. They cited sworn testimonies connecting Taylor to opaque companies, alleged property transfers, and confidentiality clauses that muzzled family dissent. To be fair, Justin's camp terminated the partnership within months. Publicly, it was a routine shakeup. Privately, insiders claim friction. Lou wanted stricter spending controls, Justin resisted. But friction means meetings happened, documents exchanged, private data reviewed. Fans fear Lou gathered enough insight to guide external players, labels, financiers, even estranged staff, on how to build a conservative case, where Justin keeps liquid assets, which contracts hinge on health clauses, which therapists might testify. And proven? Sure. But in celebrity cruises, optics matter more than verdicts. And Lou's shadow hovering near Justin's spiral revives everyone's worst déjà vu. Scroll his feed. One post is an out-of-focus Polaroid captioned, "Love is a battlefield God already won." Swipe, and you hit a dimly lit bathroom selfie. You could point out my flaws or recognize your own, Lil B. Hours later, a stark screenshot. Does ketamine help regulate anxiety? Thousands comment variations of, bro, delete this and call your therapist. But the posts stay. They multiply. Interspersed are shots of him holding the baby, pure, heartwarming, followed by a blunt video exhaling thick smoke. Narratively, it's chaos. Legally, it's ammunition. Prosecutors and conservatorship petitions present patterns. Substance indications plus presence of a child equals potential endangerment. Judges read those caption dates, 1 per day, sometimes 4 per night, and note escalation. Justin's digital footprint is now a diary prosecutors don't have to subpoena. It's volunteer evidence, timestamped, location tagged. And each unfiltered rant inches him closer to a docket where his own words could sign away his autonomy. So here we stand on a cliff edge. On one side, a 30-year-old icon descending into very public anguish. On the other, a spouse too drained to keep playing savior while balancing motherhood and billion-dollar boardrooms. Between them lies a legal mechanism polished by decades of celebrity cautionary tales, the conservatorship. Once activated, it rarely ends swiftly. Ask Britney. Ask Amanda Bynes. Ask the silent roster of non-famous Californians who lost independence under its iron paperwork. Maybe Hailey genuinely believes this is the lifeline Justin needs. Maybe industry sharks smell vulnerability and want the catalog, the brand, the residual checks. Maybe Justin's posts are the unfiltered cries of a man begging for structure before he self-destructs. Or maybe they're being amplified, angled, and weaponized by people who profit when he looks broken. Whatever the truth, one fact hums louder than any headline: this is a mental health emergency, not a meme. And if the wrong hand seizes control, Justin might survive, but the artist, the father, the man who once thrilled crowds with nothing but a guitar and raw talent, could vanish behind clinical jargon and quarterly earnings calls. So we're asking you, yes, you, to weigh in. Is Justin Bieber on a path toward healing or toward surrender? Is Hailey protecting her family or authoring a takeover she never wanted? And when the court date comes, if it comes, will fans fight like they did for Britney, or shrug, assuming the headlines told the whole story? Let us know in the comments. Because this saga isn't just about one celebrity couple, it's a mirror reflecting how quickly society turns personal pain into viral content, then into legal precedent. Watch closely, speak compassionately. The next chapter hasn't been written yet, and every voice matters.